be great if it was a reptarium or an aquarium. But no, it's chocolate. Just after Christmas. Don't even want to look at chocolate. Yellow anaconda.
Yeah, exactly.
Moctezuma, defeating the Aztec people. I returned to Spain in 1520.
Kind of held it a bit wrong.
You just have to do that in the restaurant.
This is a tutorial. You have to spread your chocolate out.
Most splendid views is to spread that chocolate.
Oh wait, you don't carry on.
It's a funny commercial. No, it's really good.
So it's pouring of rain today. That means the project I wanted to do, not really going to do. So we're back in the reptile room again, and we're going to put a front lower area onto this here monitor lizard enclosure. Remember, it's built from a packing crate, so it's probably not going to cost much apart from the electrics, lighting, heating. Really, probably waterproofer. It's going to cost more than anything else. So we're going to crack on with that. Now, if you watched the last vlog, Nature Boy goes rogue. Back to my youth. I've always been a nature boy, but I also used to be a bit of a petrol head. So today, I was going to start doing some more work on this little MX-5 that I picked up from Kyle last week. It's had a really good cleanup, loads to show you. I'll put it on a video, but I'll show you the car as we picked it up. Really, for those of you that are interested in vehicles, have a look at the state it was in. It's sat for a couple of years. Give it a quick rinse off in the video. Since then, lots more work's been done for sure, but I might put that as one big long video, sort of renovating and rejuvenating this car. That great fun, but needs a bit of work for sure. They do rot. It's not too bad. Needs a bit of metal cutting out and replacing. But for now, we're back in here, ripping things apart in the reptile room and building this. So this is what I've got on now. Renovating a car. The bathroom tiling is going to get done this week. Now the tiler's coming, that means we're going to be able to fit the shower screen in the shower. bing, bathroom complete, nearly there. And then we're going to start ripping out the kitchen because we're renovating the house. The kitchen and the back of the house is the last bit to really crack on with, apart from relaying the patio, digging up the driveway, you know, but the kitchen's the last bit. So house to do, car to do, Jackie's new greenhouse to build. I'm not doing that in the pouring rain and mud. And water monitor enclosure. And then when the monitor's shipped out into here, let me flip you around. Hold on, I'm going to literally flip you around. His 6B2B2, look at the state of the glass. His 6B2B2 will be completely changed, and that's where the really iconic snake, the indigo snake, will go. So this little baby here, I just saw him poke his head in. It's in there. This is one of those, if you're not a snake person, it doesn't get much more iconic than an eastern indigo snake. This is the red chin variety. He's grown really well. For some reason my phone's just not focusing. There we are. He's grown really, really well. He's a bit small to go into 6B2B2, but to be honest, by the time, oh goodness me, iPhones, by the time, a bigger camera lens iPhone, but by the time he's sort of his new enclosure, the monitor lizard's old enclosure is sorted, he'll be more than big enough to come out of here and start exploring a really nice naturalistic looking setup that he's going to have with all the heating, the lighting, everything. And planted too, look at that. So he's coming out of there to go into here. That'll all be clean and very changed around. Lots to do. Now my next job to do today, or probably the last job in the reptile room, is to, these guys they're not pre-mating, they have a cool down, so there's no auxiliary heating. They can use the whole 6B2B2 times 2, they can access it all high and low levels. But now she's very gravid, and to be honest, he's just become a sex pest, which is male false water cobbers. This is the male, this is the female. Males, I mean, absolutely spend half the year pestering the girls for sex at pretty much any time of year really. So they get on great, they feed great together, but realistically, it's time to split them back up so that she can just have a break. She's gradually getting fatter and fatter, despite being at about 20 degrees centigrade. So they'll cool down in the winter, they'll breed in the winter. But now I need to get the heating back on so she can develop those eggs fully. And, of course, in the spring, they'll be very, very due to be laid. So I like seeing snakes cohabit, it's very interesting. Lots of species get on really well. Some species, like the reticulated pythons, have got the dwarfs and they keep apart. Oh! It's a what? Show me it. Did you do that? What is it? A snake. Well done.
You're doing sticking and gluing and colouring in, and it's a snake.
Rainy day sort of job, isn't it? So, oh, how lovely. So these guys, time to split them up, get all the heating going, get it all set up for individual living again, really for her to move forward to that egg laying phase. And of course for him, the males feed very little when they're in full-on breeding mode. That's quite common for most snakes really. They can really go off their food. One thing on their mind, of course it's going to lose weight and get thinner. Time to switch that off and warm them up for spring if you like. Here we are, look. The little green bottle blue tarantulas, all the 4 babies that hatched properly, they're all going very, very well indeed. How cute is that? It's the size of a garden pea. What about that? I'm really pleased with those. Before I show you something petrol-y, have a look at these. This is a male and female. Brown is the male, but that's just because he's brown, not because he's not brown, because he's a male. These are Barron's racers. Great colubrid snakes, highly recommended. Rear fang venomous. I guess the venom on these is known to be potentially, possibly significant, but delivery system and the fact that mine have never, ever, ever bitten. Not a problem. These go to schools. Obviously, they're not free handled by children, but fascinating snakes. Lovely semi-arboreal. They don't need to be kept in an arboreal setting, but yeah, they like it. They do mine climb. They like to bask high up in the enclosure. But the male's never handled, by the way. He doesn't go anywhere. And the green female, much, much calmer. But I hope you saw there. Let me see if I can show you. Their little sticky up noses More noticeable on the male. Hold on. Look at that. What the cutest ever snake. I love Baron's racers. But it's all, not all systems go in the reptile room. Stuff's off-site, broom mating in the shed and things like that. It's just heated to sort of 8 degrees. He's going. Whoa, hold on. But yeah, spring's coming. It's nearly the end of January. Lots and lots to get done before the beginning of March, and then loads more to get done for our openings at the Falconry Centre with the birds and the animals and the talks and the displays. Lots going on there, but that's kicking off Easter, and this year that's going to be Sundays and Mondays. We're open to the public. I have just been to the Falconry Centre to pick up some supplies, and a couple turned up. I said, "You all right?" They said, "Oh no, we just come for a look around. Fortunately, we're not open for the public until Easter." Oh, we said, "We've travelled all the way from a little holiday in a little holiday in Norfolk. Never been to Norfolk, and we're heading home to Liverpool." I said, "I'm so sorry. You know, it's all maintenance this time of year. We're just not open to the public January and February. Not for anything. We are cracking on." And he said, "Oh, Dave, I watch all your YouTube." "Oh, okay, then you can look around." What a softie. Anyway, lovely couple showing their kids the birds in the pouring rain. Look at that. But this time of year, January and February, flat out getting stuff done, ready for the new season. Whether in the reptile room, I thought I'd left the false water cobra enclosure open, then I haven't. Either the reptile room or most especially up at Icarus Falconry. Look at that. Baron's racers looking like a twig. If you're into cars, enjoy just a collection video of this little fun MX-5. Not a midlife crisis. It was helping Kyle out to get it off his drive and inject some money into his bank account. I thought I'll do it up and get rid. Quite like it. Midlife crisis. I am going to drive it eventually. More scrap wood. All the exterior is going to be painted. The interior too. Doesn't matter. The whole carcass really made of scrap wood. Silicon sealer on all the joints has been actually the most expensive part, I guess, so far. And very important, it has to be sealed well. Asian water monitors like a lot of moisture, they like a lot of humidity, they tend to bath a lot. You need to seal up your wooden joints. Now this is made of scrap, but you could make it out of plywood just yourself. I didn't have to buy this, or even OSB board. OSB board, you've really got to seal that stuff or it'll just start to delaminate and go shaggy, but it can be done with a lot of sealant, no problem. Makes big rechick houses and so on. You just got to seal it. This plywood doesn't need maybe quite as much attention. It will seal easier. But silicone on all the joints. I've even got some bathroom there. That's been put on the outside because I had a scrap. And then the HS6, the marine aquarium safe. No mold inhibitors. Certainly on all your interior joints just to make sure. But it's coming along. Coming along indeed. Now for the frontage, the electrics, but first it's all about sealing. So almost all done. Almost all done. Just completely ripped them out, really sort of Spartan. Plenty of room. We've all got somewhere to hide, not that they do. Water bottle I can curl up in. And no lighting at all for the male, because his fitting has broken, so we're gonna have to get another one. Thought I'd have a spare. I have got a spare, just not at home. Holes blocked up, they're now back to being separated again. Still need feeding up. As the weather warms in the spring, a lot of the false water cobras go off their food when it's winter, whether they're heated or not indoors. They seem to sense it. But the male's in breeding mode. They're picky feeders. Snap him out of that now. He's completely separate from the female. She'll be pleased and he'll start eating again, certainly in the next few weeks. But she's eating well and she needs plenty more food now because she's gravid. Okay, new battery fitted. All the levels checked. Radiator's brown, but all the levels are good. Sat for 2 years. Getting wet. Okay, so first drive, one of the tyres got a slow puncture, the front fog lights don't work, the switch lights up but neither works, the radiator top's brown, not sure, the discs on the brakes are so rusty, think the calipers might be sticking a bit on one of the backs, but pretty much everything works. It's higher mileage than I thought it was. I've had a look around it real briefly, and I bought it off my son who's had it for 2 years and then done nothing with it at all. MOT'd it, passed first time, and now it's sat a year since then, and he's done nothing with it, hasn't driven it, he just hasn't had the time. So I brought it off him to inject that money back into his bank account that he's paid out for it. I thought it was the holy grail. I thought this thing was one of those lucky ones. It's been stored inside a long time, but one of the classic rear points has been patched up and rotten. It's been done by my son's friend who owned it before my son, who was going to do the car up. He never driven it, but it's not a bad history. It's been stored inside a lot. It's got the convertible plus the hard top. Unfortunately, although it's got a almost brand new looking waterproof cover in the boot, my son has left it on his drive for 2 years. Obviously there's leaking seals somewhere. The roof was just dripping, as you've seen. The boot lid's soaking wet. Luckily it hasn't been longer than a couple of years, and it doesn't seem too bad. So lots to do. I think what are they called? Oh my goodness, sun visors. I think they'll need getting rid of. Maybe I can live with them as they are. I might keep it as it is. It seems too good to do much modification on, maybe, I think, but we'll see. I'll keep it reporting back. Thanks to the guys on YouTube that have already in 1 week enabled me to sort of get a lot of the gen on things that need doing on these guys. But have a look when we get it home. I'm going to give it a quick wash. I'm going to wash it all underneath because I'm now driving on a salted road, for God's sake. It's not good. And then as time progresses, we'll start pulling it apart, looking at those drain channels, getting a new radiator. But one thing for sure is I'm going to whack a dehumidifier in here if I can get it to fit on the seat, and leave that running and try and suck as much moisture out of this thing as I possibly can. It's full of stuff. It's come with loads of stuff. There's no room for, I don't even know what's on the passenger seat. I really don't know. The boot's absolutely full of stuff, so we'll empty it out, see what goodies are in it. Dehumidifier, needs a strap on the battery. But yeah, first drive, I have whizzed around the block a few times just to make sure before I take it home that more than anything the air stays in the tyre. There's a little glare on my face. That's a benefit to you guys. I've got to say, all the YouTube videos I've watched classically started as soon as the fuel got through. Turned over 5 times, because on the video I'd already started it. Turned over 5 times, get the fuel through, purred like a baby, purred like a kitten, and taking it for a drive, yeah, just makes you smile. Okay, very quick clean up, check everything out. Actually drying there. That was wet, but that's dry. Like the condensation. That is bone dry. All of that came out of that little car. Car cover, top covers, dust covers. God knows how many cleaning products and filler. How ridiculous is that?